potential investors from the UAE to explore investment opportunities in the Gambia. Journalist Madi Cisse reveals to the TRRC that his vehicle was shot by former First Lady Tuti Fall's bodyguards. Sudan's Military Transitional Council, the opposition, have earlier today signed declaration of power sharing agreement. These are the headlines coming on your way on the World Today News Bulletin. Hello viewers, you are watching the World Today News Bulletin. I am Fatmata Jaju. We now look at the news in detail. President Adama Barrow has today returned from a two-day official visit to the United Arab Emirates, where he secured a bond of agreement to allow Gambians to seek job opportunities in the Middle East. The Gambian leader considers the Arab partner ready to implement agreements they made to support Gambia through exploring investment opportunities available in the country. President Barrow told reporters that he is expecting a technical team from Abu Dhabi to engage with his government in order to explore considerable opportunities. A media release from the Office of the President expressed hope that the Emirate of Abu Dhabi will support the Gambia with VIP vehicles for the heads of states attending the 2022 OIC summit in the Gambia. Additional support includes provision of ground handling equipment and construction of aircraft parking apron at the Banjul International Airport that will accommodate aircraft flying in for the summit. Journalist Madi Cisse had a remarkable share of pain from the Jammeh administration for serving his role in journalism. He nearly got killed by bodyguards of former First Lady who used extreme force against any road user in the name of her security. Madi recalled experience of torture while working at the then independent newspaper. His own daily news was forcefully closed for living up to the principles of press freedom. Here is an excerpt of his testimony before the TRRC by Ndai Fatou Bangura.
So as I was coming around Tabokoto, the then First Lady Tuti Fall was being escorted.
Madi MK Cisse, former president of the Gambia Press Union, said that the military officers in escort convoy of former First Lady Tuti Fall Jammeh fired shot on his vehicle in 1998. He made this recollection before the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparation Commission as part of the hearing on the violation of journalists and media in the country during the 22 years administration of Yahya Jammeh. He recalled that the shot which came on the car he boarded along with his friend Ibrahim Jagana left damages on the vehicle, but none of them sustained injuries. The incident, he said, came shortly after they left the highway following a shot alert from the advance team of the convoy. The gunshot came shortly after the last car in the escort team when Madi and his friend made attempt to continue their way. He said no justice was ever served in connection with this threat in their lives, although the matter was reported to the Bundung police station.
At this stage, your vehicle, was it traveling in a convoy or it wasn't traveling in a convoy?
No, I wasn't traveling in a convoy.
So it was your vehicle in the midst of other vehicles that were using the road at the time?
At the time, yes.
Okay, proceed, please.
So when I come up to Tabokoto, I heard the siren, so I drove off. I was there with my late friend, Almami Jagana, who was really driving the vehicle. And we packed off and then allowed the First Lady and its convoy to go. As soon as the last vehicle came, then I instructed him to follow, and then we followed, and then this gentleman just pointed a pistol from the back and fired. So for me, I thought it was just a joke, but then it was a real. So the blade came, unfortunately hit the lower part of the vehicle door, and then the glasses broke. But Almame did not know what had happened. So we continued up to the meeting point. Then I told him that we were fired at. He said, no, that's not true. So we alighted and looked at the vehicle, and then there's a mark there. Then I had to go to Bulletin police station to report the matter. And when I went to the police station, one past Silva was the station officer. He said if we can get mechanics to remove the door of the vehicle and check whether actually it was true or not. So we paid somebody who did it, and then they removed the broken glasses and then found the bullet. Then he confirmed, yes, this is really a bullet.
Madi Cisse took up leadership of the Gambia Press Union after the killing of Deida Haidara in 2004. He had worked at the then independent newspaper where he got arrested with his colleagues and underwent severe torture. The newspaper was then burnt down by agents of the former government. Mr. Cisse had his own newspaper, the Daily News, shut down for its critical stance against the Jammeh administration. He is now National Assembly member for Serekunda West under the United Democratic Party. For iAfrica News, Ndeifatu Bangura.
That was Madi Cisse, former GPU president, giving his account with former First Lady's convoy bodyguards. Pa Usman Dabo, a former journalist with the then Daily Observer, has given reservation to the participation of late Dr. Sajjad Tal in the disappearance of Chief Ibrahim Mane. Mr. Dabo, who lives in the United States, testified before the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparations Commission on Skype connection on Tuesday. Chief Ibrahim Mane was picked up by national intelligence operatives at his office premises in July 2006 during the African Union Summit. He has since been allegedly kept in secret detentions, with reports of his death coming latest. His former colleague told the commission that Chief Mane must have been a victim due to the placement of a story on the international column of the Observer stating Jammeh's coming to power through military means. For this, in the testimony of Mr. Dabo, the late political science lecturer at the University of the Gambia, who became the managing director of Daily Observer, reported Chief Ibrahim Mane to the NIA. He told the commission of reports suggesting some form of torture on Mane while in detention in the hands of the then governor of Upper River Region, Omar Khan. The Gambia Press Union and her partners won a lawsuit before the ECOWAS Court of Justice against the government of the Gambia on the enforced disappearance of Chief Mane. Usman was one of the witnesses during the trial in Nigeria. Sudan's military leaders and representatives of the opposition have earlier today signed a political declaration of a power-sharing agreement in Khartoum. This move will lay a 3-year transition period before general elections planned for 2022. Further details are expected to be finalized in a second constitutional deal by Friday. Speaking during a news conference, Ibrahim Al-Amin, a leader of protest against the military rule, embraced the deal. But first, let's listen to General Mohammed Hamdan Dagalo, Deputy Head of Sudanese Transitional Military Council, who gave his take of the agreement.
The signing of a political agreement between the Military Council and the Forces of Freedom and Change Alliance is a historic moment for the Sudanese nation in its struggle, opening a new promising era of partnership between our armed forces, the rapid support forces, and all other regular forces with the pioneers of the Sudanese Revolution and our partners in the Forces of Freedom and Change Alliance. This agreement is the long-awaited fruit of continuous effort honoring freedom, peace, and justice. Today we have to look towards a new era and to depend on ourselves and stay away from all that divides us. Sudan is for all the Sudanese. Yes, the signatories today are part of the revolution and are part of the Sudanese people. However, their services and care will expand in the next government to cover all the Sudanese.
Ibrahim Al-Amin, the leader of protest against the military rule. The military council took control of Sudan after ousting the longtime leader Omar al-Bashir in a coup on April 11 this year. On the same day, protesters flooded the area outside the defense ministry demanding transition to civilian rule, leading to a months-long standoff and outbreaks of violence. Ethiopian mediator Mohamed Durir called the power-sharing deal as a way forward for the one untitled bloc of Sudan. We now go with a break and come back shortly.
Oh guys, hi. You guys got very big rams. I hope you don't get it from where I'm suspecting.
Do you think you're the only one who knows where all the good news come from? My son bought me this ram all the way from abroad. It's Baluwo.
Oh yes, this must be Baluwo. Me too, my daughter just bought one for me. True Baluwo. With Baluwo, everything is possible.
This Tabaski, you can buy ram for your family using the trusted Baluwo. Just log on to the www.baluwo.com website or download the app. You can buy ram, otherwise foodstuffs such as rice, sugar, cooking oil, and much more for your family this Tabaski. Baluwo, better than sending money.
You are giving it to parliamentarians. Where is the source? The parliamentarians themselves should challenge that.
Yes, APRC and DBC not opposition. All other parties that doesn't concern either UDP or NRP or PDP, they are all in the government. Man, dama against ID card mu nekk $450. Man mosuma si ànd te du mosuma sa ànda.
Yow xaalis boobu nu mu fa ñëwee loolu nga war a njëkk a laajte because social security institution doo xam ne social security warut a ñàkk a xaalis fi profit social security loolu waxtaani banda la loolu dafa war a automatique.
Baro lu ma ko ñaan mooy na wàcce 3 years am su demee 5 years dafa am problème leadership bu fi bàyyi dafa bon right now amul direction bu correct réew mi ñëpp seen am na disappointment si nguuri Baro.
Mënut a jagal réew da ngaa def li nga war a def bàyyi keneen ñu continuer
Welcome back. You are watching the World Today News Bulletin. Let's now take a look at the remaining stories. A delegation of the Gambia Police Force is currently in Liberia to borrow crowd control techniques from the American-style police of Monrovia. Liberian online newspaper Front Page Africa quoted the Gambia's Inspector General of Police Mamour Diop as saying that the visit was motivated by the security sector reform that Liberia has gone through. He said the Gambia Police is interested to know what is involved in order to implement such reforms in the Gambia. It could be recalled that a fraction of the police intervention unit received training from the French National Police on public order and technical applications a month ago. In the same vein, the French donated the Gambian police with water cannons, which Interior Minister Ibrahim Mbalo said will be used to throw hot water on protesters. People in accident-prone zones in India have in their service a man who transformed his bike tricycle into a medical ambulance. The humanitarian service includes first aid treatment and free transportation to hospital for anyone involved in road traffic accident. In this story, the brain behind this initiative justifies reasons for his investment in health. We have more in this report.
A 76-year-old driver turned his batch vehicle into an ambulance vehicle offering first aid and free ride to hospital to people injured in road accidents in India. After finishing his daily job, Hajinder Said drives to areas with heavy traffic looking for people in need of help.
जब भी आप सड़क पर कोई दुर्घटना देखें, एक्सीडेंट देखें, तो
When you see an accident on the road, don't wait until an ambulance arrives or someone comes to rescue them. If you want to help, just put him or her in a vehicle and take them to the nearest hospital.
Hajinda's vehicle has first aid kit with basic items for injured. He also delivers medicine to people whose poor health doesn't allow them to go outside.
No one learns the language and mathematics immediately. They learn the alphabet and numbers slowly and later they pick up. Similarly, if you promote the habit of helping people, they will learn and get involved in helping others.
Mr. Said said the purpose of his voluntary work is to make himself much happier and fulfill his life with purpose.
That is a very humanitarian gesture. Indian man turns his vehicle into an ambulance. The President's ID card of the late American rapper Tupac is up for auction by Heritage Auctions in Dallas, United States. The identity, which symbolizes the incarceration of the late star, is considered a unique piece of historical artifact. The bidding opened on July 1st and is said to have reached $20,000, surpassing its original evaluation of $4,000. Gary Strom from memorabilia company Heritage Auctions explained that the value of the piece stems from the fascination around the life and death of the legendary hip-hop artist.
Well, I think because there's so many people following the mystique of his lyrics and his fame and his tragedy. So people get interested in that, and he was incredibly huge at that time in selling CDs. I had my shop open at that time, and I just couldn't keep it in. The more I bought in, the more it sold.
Tupac was sentenced to 4 years imprisonment in 1995 for sexual abuse, but was released after serving just 9 months. He was murdered in a drive-by shooting in the following year at the age of 25. Well, viewers, that's all we have for you on the World Today News Bulletin. For more on these and other stories, kindly log on to our website, iafrica.tv. Please stay tuned for 2100 GMT for Suniro, with Abdullah Caesar as the host and interesting guest, of course.
Alhamdulillah. Nalaga. Yetu dalla buy. On to tudon di bali ko rina kam sikki don. Enen jati. An hiida sikka ko antum humpitoto kabaruji moƴƴinin kal diwal men do. Awa fay. Min kadi ngido ko bidda ko woni ko jonnani mi ngi immorde e balu.
Mi anduno dum ko baluwo tu wawi dum do. O ngi bali lando ko bidda ngon adani langido jonni langi ko iwre e baluwo.
Ndeɗo julde donking hiɗa wawi sodande ɓingure ma nden baali mawgi e oɗo baluwo service ko watta rek no weeɓi yahu ka website ɗum woni www.baluwo.com waɗa download app on e baluwo hiɗa wawi sodude ñameteji wawɗi wa maaro sukar nebban e ko heewi baluwo ɓuri nuldugol mbuuɗi.